Welcome to the Social Determinants of Health course, Social and Behavioral Determinants of Health, HB 523 for Summer 2. I am your professor, your instructor, Maria-Elaine Solis, and the goal of the course is to give you developing knowledge how various factors would serve as various systems that interact, that impact people's lives at the federal level, at the state level, at the community level. So the question may be that as students, MHA students, if you are, you might ask, why is this class relevant to my degree, other than that you are required to complete it? I want you to think about how places we work and live, how they impact the patients that you're likely to interact with. Every patient, every person in this world, social and behavioral determinants of health, these factors are relevant to our health and health outcome. And 80% of pretty much the disparities that we're seeing at different regarding different populations, including clinical populations, are associated with social determinants of health versus biological mechanism that may explain these disparities. So indeed, social determinants of health or social and behavior determinants of health, very much, this course is very much relevant to MHA, wherever you work, whether you're implementing a program, a nutrition type of program, or are you implementing a food access, increasing food access among a community, a patient population. All of these factors, as we will cover them throughout the course, you will see the goal is to really see how relevant these are to you, and to let you know they are. If you're interacting with people at any level and you're providing a service that will impact their quality of life, indeed, you have to understand various social determinants of health and how they interact to impact engagement, interaction, health outcome. All right, so the goal of this short video is really to welcome you to the course. And, this is an online course. So we're not meeting in person, but nevertheless, I am here to support you throughout this course. It's about 6 weeks, I believe. So it's 6 weeks worth of a semester of materials, meaning that the readings that you must try to remain on top of them as we complete each modules. It's important to complete the readings. And I'm gonna bring up the syllabus, and then this is a quick overview of the syllabus. Please take time to read the syllabus on your own, because a lot of questions that you may have, of course, the syllabus is very detailed. Of course, if you have questions, absolutely let me know. All right, so I am going to share the syllabus, which is posted on Brightspace, the course Brightspace. I'll make it somewhat larger, but nevertheless, it is there for your thorough review on Brightspace. So the objectives of the course, what I'm hoping that based on the readings, based on the assignments, that you will get to learn and to retain, and the competencies are followed. So expectations, so it's a summer course. As I mentioned, we're covering a lot of materials over the course of 6 weeks. And this is a semester worth of readings, of assignments. So you want to make sure you remain on top of it, reviewing the lectures, completing the readings, and completing the assignments. So expectations in terms of communication. I tend to answer emails pretty quickly within 24 hours, but just for your information, Between 24 to 48 hours, although typically it's 24 hours for me. But on weekends, it's the next business day. Assignments, once you've completed the assignments, I have about 7 days to complete to grade and to submit a grade, although this may be done earlier, but I just want to make sure what exactly the expectations are. Again, you can read all of these things, these sections on your own. While this course is absolutely, there's no required live sessions, but there are optional sessions, lecture sessions. So there are 2 optional sections which will be offered on July 14 and August 4th. And this is the Zoom link for each session. I will be posting a new module assignments each week. Please review them. Please add all of the due dates to your calendar, just in case you may miss something. If it's in your calendar, electronic calendar or paper calendar or both, you're more likely to remember them. So these are, there's no textbook. We are using articles, a lot of them are very short articles to the point, and they're focused on different content to really give you a really great grasp of the literature. So assignments. Let's go further down on assignments. So we have one paper, and we have a second paper, and we have a third, much longer papers. So we have about 3 papers, which are a little short, 1 paragraph assignments that is where you will choose a topic and you will describe to me why, you will explain to me rather why you've chosen this topic of social determinants of health, focusing on a particular behavior in a population, and I will give you feedback for that. And that's assignment 3, and it's associated with assignment 4, which is your last much longer paper. And assignment 4, this paper accounts for 35% of your grade. On your own, you can read in details. This actually provides an introduction, a summary of the assignment, but the assignments, each of the assignments is detailed on assignments on Brightspace. While this class is asynchronous, I absolutely want to make sure that you feel like you're having at least some peer interaction. So this discussion boards assignments where I use the discussion boards because I want to facilitate interaction around the content, reading the assignments, where you will be asked to respond to a topic, right? Your first post, and then to respond to a topic, your first post, and then you will be asked to respond to the post of a peer. So 2 posts, at least 2 posts. Of course, you may post as much as you want, and each of these assignments, include the papers and the discussion boards, I have their detailed description found on Brightspace, as well as rubric that breaks down each of the rubric breaks down the grades, the components you need to have, in associate points. So these are the modules where they will be posted and the due dates for each modules. So as I mentioned, I will be posting the weekly assignments or the weekly task. I think the weekly task is much more appropriate in terms of the readings you need to complete, the lectures you need to review, and other things relevant for that module. So if you have a disability, you need any support, please contact the Student Accessibility Support Center, and please let me know as well how I can support you, because that's really important. We want to make sure I am very much receptive. When I say we as a department, we are receptive and supportive of every student's, every individual need. However, if we do not know what they are, we cannot be supportive. So please let us know. Academic integrity is really essential. And you can read that on your own, and you've signed, I believe part of public health of onboarding is there's an academic integrity uh, booklet that you're reviewed and to know what are the requirements, what are the guidelines. I do not accept anything that is generated through AI and being presented as your own. That is plagiarism. If it is, you didn't write it, it is AI generated, and it's a way, and it's really disheartening because it cheats you out of interacting with the content, thinking about the assignment, and generating your own assignment. You pay for this course. It's really important. At the end of this course, you can actually explain what social determinants of health, the different levels, different interactive roles, and how they are relevant to population health and community health. So if you're not taking time to interact with the content, including completing your own assignment, essentially you are cheating yourself out of your own academic success. And in any work that is plagiarized, there are potential, you know, of course, it's something that I have to cover. It is not, I don't assume students are going to come in and do this, but nevertheless, it's something we have to cover to make sure you are aware of the guidelines or be reminded of the requirement that AI generated content presented and being passed off as your own is considered plagiarism. And, at times, some students, while very intelligent, may have some difficulties with formal writing because they may not have gotten the basic mechanics previously, or they have been working in an area where they don't write very often, so they may not feel too competent in that area. I urge you to use the writing lab. The writing lab, if you're finding yourself having difficulties completing assignments on your own or have gotten feedback where your writing is not clear, this is not necessarily a lack of intelligence. I've had students that are extremely smart, however, had difficulties in really flushing out their thoughts on paper. And I have seen the night and day improvement in their writing after working with somebody from the writing lab with a tutor. So please, if you find yourself or having that difficulty, access the writing lab. You're already paying for it as part of your tuition, so you might as well use it. And it makes your life easier, okay? Because if you're struggling with writing, you got the skills and you move on. So that it makes your time here easier and completing assignments much easier. All right, so this is just an overview of the syllabus. And as I mentioned, the syllabus is found on Brightspace in the course space section. If you have any question, I am available via email, and we can also schedule a Zoom session so we can, if you need something to discuss. Part of the discussion board, you can, if you have questions, it's not a personal question, and you feel like it's a question about an assignment, you feel like other students may benefit from that answer, please use the discussion Q&A section of the discussion board to post your question. I will check that and respond. If it's a personal matter, please contact me. Of course, you can contact me through Brightspace and it goes directly to my email. It should. If you're watching this video, you have access to Brightspace. But in the event something happened, you cannot have access to Brightspace. There's some technological glitch. Please contact the help desk because I do not know how to resolve that matter. All right. As I mentioned, while this is an asynchronous course, nevertheless, the goal is to make sure that there's peer interaction. I will be chiming in in the discussion board, but the primary goal of the discussion board is to provide a platform for which you are, wherein you're interacting with your peers around the content. What you have to write matters. So this is why I'm so against AI. I want to hear your thoughts. I really do not care about what AI says. AI has its place, absolutely, but writing your own content is not necessarily the best way to use this type of technology. All right. Again, welcome to the course, and I will see you on the first lecture. Have a great one. Bye-bye.